Bioshock 1 was a 2008 game developed and published by 2K Games, and it is a sci-fi action thriller that is set in the underwater world of Rapture. And basically the general story is you play as Jack, whose plane at the very beginning crashes in the water, and that's during a monologue of him saying his mom always said he would amount to great things, and this is his great thing. And I don't have many bad things at all really to say about Bioshock 1, and I played the Bioshock 1 Remastered because I have the collection since day one, and what I can say is in the entire 12, 13 years that Bioshock has been a thing and been around, I have not once played through and finished it. The most I did before this time was I played, I think it was 3 locations in the map, and then I just kind of stopped playing. Well, now I thoroughly got into it because I'm playing through all of the games in release order that I own, that I never finished or even touched. And Bioshock 1 was the next one on my list. So anyway, played it on the PS4 Pro, and it's the Bioshock 1 Remaster. And all of the good things I can say about it are the best things about this game. The aesthetics are beautifully captured. The setting is gorgeous, especially with it being a remastered. It feels like it's an actual just PS4 game, not just a port. The story is actually mesmerizing. There are a lot of characters, and they are colorful characters, and the story and the gameplay really immerses you into this world. Okay, this is one of those games where it's sort of a figure it out yourself, kind of like you go through a linear storyline, but you go through each location's mapping, and you find audio tapes, and you get interpersonal as well as main story related audio tapes that you can listen to, and it really brings you into the world of Rapture. It takes you into its downfall. It takes you into the glory days. Just like the prelude in Bioshock 2. It really immerses you and brings you into what it once was, what it became, and what it is now. And like I said, you play as Jack, and you're going through all of this, and throughout the whole entire story, the narration is basically Atlas asking you through a series of would you kindly repetitious dialogue requests to go through all of these quests to essentially stop the downfall / the continuation of Rapture. It's kind of intricately confusing. It makes sense, but it's a little bit of an intricate web. So basically the founder of Rapture is Andrew Ryan, and he's proclaimed as a bad guy through the whole game. He taunts you in audio tapes every time that you get through an area. He arises in a video, in a camera, on TV, anywhere, and he's surmounted as this bad guy. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, because this game hands down has one of, if not the greatest plot twist of the entire gaming world. And it's a damn shame that I just now am playing through and have played through now the entire game of Bioshock. I played through Bioshock 2 and Infinite, and I just kind of neglected Bioshock 1 until now. And I love every single game in this series. But Bioshock 1, hands down, it is the formidable predecessor. And honestly, this is just about the best game in the series. Each one has great perks to them, but see, for me, it's like this. Bioshock 2, you felt too invincible. Bioshock Infinite, it wasn't really scary. Bioshock 1 has it all. It has beautiful, dark horror aesthetics. You're actually a very humanized person that actually has flaws. You're not invincible. And that's the number one thing I have to say about Bioshock 1 too, not just about the aesthetics or the setting. The difficulty with how it's set, it's necessary. Okay, I played on the easiest, and even the easiest feels at the very least like medium. normally I'm against the AI being inconsistent difficult-wise, but not with this game. This game, it makes sense. You have splicers, flying splicers, you have big daddies, and the big daddies are, other than the bosses, the big daddies are the hardest of them all. And you can really feel and tell that this is a living and lived-in world based solely just on the difficulty. Every AI, every character has its own body, in a sense. The world is basically its own body. It's lived in. Everything is beautiful and very well captured in the world of Rapture. Okay? At your arsenal, gameplay-wise, you have wrench to start, and then you gain all of these weapons, and some of them are, you know, standard pistol, machine gun. But then you get, like, napalm and flamethrower. I guess they're the same thing. Napalm's really just the ammo. Then you get a grenade launcher, and not to mention you get plasmids and something called Eve that allows you to shock people, hypnotize big daddies into helping you, incinerate your enemies, incinerate. This world is so lived in that one of your Eve powers that you can use is incinerate. And when you're in a frosted, frozen place, you can literally incinerate the snow and the ice, and that allows you to gain access into doors or into secret corridors or whatever. And not to mention, like, the electro bolt as well. When a door is shut permanently and it has an electric panel that's kind of blown up, but it shows shocks, you can actually zap it, and that'll allow entry into that way. And that's what I mean. This world is so lived in, and it only complements the gameplay because both the world and the gameplay mesh and intertwine very well. Now, as far as the gameplay, a small minor gripe I have to say is the hacking. It's not a bad hack system minigame. It's not a bad one at all. But a couple minor gripes within it, mainly being there are so many hack opportunities that ultimately there's only one hack minigame. And while it's fun, it can start to feel repetitious. And not to mention borderline just impossible. Literally impossible. What I mean is, in some instances, like even a turret, when you try to hack into some turrets, or even a hackable safe, sometimes it's just impossible. You go through all of the squares, and it doesn't really help you because when you open all of the squares, sometimes you're just completely blocked off. And to me, that's just kind of that's such a fake kind of gameplay implementation, because to me it's basically setting you up to fail, and I don't like that. Everything else about the gameplay is 100% solid, including the majority of the hack system. Like I said, even the hack system, the minigame, is really fun. It really keeps you on your toes. Everything about this game keeps you on your toes, and at the same time, you're actually having fun through the entire game, especially whenever you go through the storyline, and there are an abundant amount of plot twists too, especially near the end and at the end. And all in all, Bioshock 1, especially with it being Bioshock 1 Remastered, it is beautiful. The hack system has some flaws. The remastered version especially got rid of most of the screen tearing. They definitely revisualized and re-encaptured the aesthetics, the setting, and the graphics. The audio, that's another thing too, that's a little bit of a gripe for me, is, say, for example, when you have to override a system and a main story audio tape that's necessary to the plot line, when it starts playing with an overriding system, it kind of deteriorates the audio because you can't really hear what they're saying because of all of the big bang in the background. But that's every now and again. It's not throughout the whole game, that's every now and again. But when it happens, it kind of detracts from the story. So this isn't a perfect game by any means. So all in all, for me, Bioshock 1, with its mostly mesmerizing gameplay, the beautiful aesthetics and setting, the amazing story, very plot-filled story, great witty writing, colorful characters, all of those should really keep you immersed in it. And plus, with it being a lived-in world, they should really deter you away from the very, very minor gripes that I have with this game. So all in all, for me, Bioshock 1 Remastered, with just 2 or 3 minor gripes, is a 9 out of 10. This is a damn great game, and everybody should play Bioshock 1. You may not like Bioshock 2 for the invincibility matter of it, or Infinite for it just not feeling like Bioshock, but Bioshock 1 itself, definitely, hands down, play Bioshock 1. So again, Bioshock 1 to me is a 9 out of 10. Thank you.